Kia ora and welcome to day 10 of Beer Jerk Advent Calendar Drink Along. I'm Luke.
I'm Joe. Today
we are drinking Prideful from Searchlight down in Queenstown.
Yeah, really small brewery, aren't they? Hard to find. They won a design award a couple years ago and then sort of didn't hear much more from them for a while. So it's cool. This is one of sort of two beers they're sort of producing in 440s at the moment, and
Yeah, I think the reason we don't hear a lot about them is because we're a long way from Queenstown, and they don't put a lot of beer in small pack. It's I think they mainly do kegs. Cheers. So very cool to see some of their cans around, and I think they're going to be ramping up to get more beer out there in cans rather than just kegging around the country a little bit. So not just keeping it for the Queenstown crowd to enjoy their beers.
Yeah, now that you mention it, there is only a couple of sort of South Island breweries that are brewing at the scale that it makes sense to be shipping volumes to the North Island. It is an extremely prohibitive cost sending a pallet up here. It's, you know, not quite as prohibitive as, you know, air freighting or something like that internationally, but it's still, you know, a good few of the boxes cost wise.
Yeah.
Just already, you know, you have to factor that in.
Well, New Zealand is a pretty large country, and there aren't that many people living here, so yeah, freight is expensive. And then when you've got a sea in between the two islands, yeah, it costs a lot to get money to the North Island, to get beer to the North Island. So have you been to Searchlight?
No, I've never been to Queenstown.
Oh,
no.
You should visit at some point, it's lovely.
Yeah, I think I will.
Loads of great beer around there, lovely fresh air.
Yeah.
So yeah, Searchlight, lovely little spot, lovely outdoor area, and they do a lot of cool events there. And it seems like recently they've been doing loads of events embracing the rainbow community and just really sort of focusing on supporting diversity and especially the LGBTQA plus I community. So that's what this beer is all about, Prideful. It was brewed to celebrate, I think it's called Pride,
it was
right?
Queenstown Pride.
Queenstown Pride, yeah. Which was just 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's pretty tasty APA.
Yeah, APA, it's a sort of lesser seen style. Definitely pale ales and hazy pale ales dominate. But yeah, it's lovely to see a beer sort of that colour come through that's not a sort of 8% West Coast big hoppy IPA, because yeah, it's lower ABV, easy drinking, but still has that beautiful kind of rich malty character, and then those classic US hops, pardon me, cutting through with a bit of sort of pine and bitterness. Oh, so there it goes.
Well, as we often talk about with beer styles, there's often hard to find a clear definition. Of course, you have the BJCP guidelines, but also just lots of brewers and drinkers. Everyone's got their own opinion and interpret things differently. So we've got the brewer Ash coming up. So he's sent up his clipboard in Queenstown, so we'll cut to him shortly. But he talks about how this is it's definitely more of a malt-forward American pale ale. And for me, drinking it, it is a bit like if you look at the origin of the style, pale ale is English bitter. And then the Americans took it and made it their own in the 80s, really, and 90s. So this, to me, very much tastes like an American version of an English pale ale. It's got good maltiness, but then those American hops, I feel like these days, APAs are generally seen as like a baby of IPA.
Yeah, some of them are above 6% as well, which it's like, yeah, have they just changed the word India to American? Some of them are just very light-bodied but American hopped. So yeah, obviously definitions are, you know, words are meaningless and definitions are up for interpretation. But
IPAs are 4.6% these days.
Yeah,
so
this is what I kind of think of as an APA, and it's yeah, I'm glad we were able to get a Searchlight beer. Ash is a cool brewer.
Yeah,
you've sort of had some very good discussions with him about different ways to get sort of flavor into beer and different concepts. So it's cool that he's at a brewery and he's going to be able to sort of bring some really interesting stuff to us.
Yeah, Ash, the brewer there, is a really great guy. Haven't seen him in a while because he's in Queenstown these days. But he used to brew at Urbanaut, just down the road from us on the beer mile. And then he moved to, I think he was at Garage Project doing packaging. and he's been at Searchlight maybe about a year, I think. So yeah, I think that it's just a real very talented brewer, very systems based, but also very creative. So I think it's it would be cool to see them doing more and more stuff. And Ash at the reins, hopefully, is going to have full freedom to do all sorts of interesting things, things that he's into. And as I say, it would be cool to see more Searchlight beers around the country. But I think the main takeaway for us drinking this is that we're both due a trip to Queenstown.
Yeah.
So we should maybe stop by and visit those guys.
Well, yeah. I don't know what I'd do there. I don't ski. I don't. What else?
Drink beer
Drink
and
wine.
enjoy the mountain air.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's altitude there. There's not far from just over the hills. You've got Ground Up, and Ramen Reza, and it's
a lot of amazing breweries.
I think it's the happening.
Good public transport, so I can drink and get between them, or
no. Become friends with someone that's got a private helicopter and fly around. Anyway, enough from us. Thank you for joining us this week. Thanks to the team at Searchlight for making a lovely beer, and especially Ash. And with that, we're going to hand over to Ash in Queenstown. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, I'm Ash. This is Searchlight Brewery. We're down in Queenstown, and I've got a little APA for you guys to give a try in your beer drink advent calendar. So quickly kick things off. We've got a small little 1200 litre brew house here with 6 uni tanks just behind you there. And we've been pretty hectic over the last couple of weeks with downtime while we've been installing some new equipment. So I've got a little 300 litre little pilot kit, we're going to call it, with some small fermenters over in the corner. So hopefully the plan is soon enough, once back up and running, and once we've got everything plumbed in, it's a bit of a mess at the moment, we'll start making some hopefully more adventurous and unique beers. So keep an eye on that. Onto the beer. We've got a little APA that we brewed for Pride Week. It was a month or two ago down here. Just support the community and all that sort of thing. So it's quite a malt forward APA. So there's some Munich and some light crystal. I also extended the boil a little bit more to really accentuate some of those malty characteristics. It might not be to everyone's taste in terms of a American Pale Ale style, as it's going to be perhaps not on the hoppier side of things as opposed to maltier. But a point of difference was sort of what I was going for here. So we've got hop-wise Citra, Simcoe, and Mosaic. I find this beer to be, quite interestingly enough, with that hop combo, quite black tea and with a bready, almost jammy kind of malt cushion, which I personally quite enjoy. But each to their own at the end of the day. So hope you enjoy, and cheers.